I'm going to zoom in on that here in a second. And then you can see him walking out on his phone behind the tent. Charlie is getting loaded into the van, and Mikey is seen over here, back turned on the phone. This is weird, right? But even weirder is this. Zooming in closer, Mikey's reaction right when Charlie was shot. Look, he pulls his phone out to his ear without even pressing any buttons. Watch closely. Arms folded, phone right to his ear.
Mikey McCoy's wife just dropped messages that could blow this entire Charlie Kirk situation wide open. And now Erika Kirk is supposedly doing whatever it takes to keep her mouth shut. The leaked clips reveal something seriously strange about Mikey, like genuinely bizarre, and it seems his own wife is finished protecting him. She's prepared to spill everything. But here's the catch. Erika doesn't want any of that going public, and what she's supposedly doing to prevent it. That's exactly what needs to be discussed. Look, I know you clicked this video wanting answers, so let me break down precisely what's coming your way. You're about to see the leaked clips that got everyone questioning everything. You're about to hear about timeline contradictions that make zero sense. You're about to learn about a suspicious trip that went down just weeks before Charlie Kirk got shot. And you're about to discover why people across the internet are labeling this an inside job. Now, I'm not here telling you what to believe. I'm just here laying out what's circulating. Because if these leaks are legit, and I mean even partially legit, they point to people close to Charlie possibly knowing something before the shooting went down. And honestly, the deeper I dug into this, the harder it became to ignore what was staring back at me. The stories don't line up. The timelines are completely off, and the silence from certain individuals, it screams louder than anything they could possibly say. So stay with me. What Mikey McCoy's own wife supposedly leaked changes the entire game.
Charlie died, Mikey McCoy and his wife Eliza, for the very first time, now this is according to Eliza McCoy, she shared that it was the first time ever that they went on vacation. Her and Mikey went on vacation with Erika and Charlie. Here's that post on Instagram. That second paragraph begins, "We spent a few weeks together this summer, our first family trip together." Okay, getting real close there. And while they were on this very first time together for a couple of weeks vacation, something moved the McCoys to capture intimate and sweet moments of the Kirk family from behind the scenes. Now, you know which footage I'm talking about. It's the footage that has since gone viral of Charlie walking with his children and Erika. Erika grabs his hand. It's actually a very sweet moment, and it moved a lot of us. People were, I know I was crying when I first saw this footage a couple of days after Charlie died.
This isn't just another conspiracy theory floating around on the internet. This is real documentation, real timestamps, and real questions that deserve real answers. Before we go deeper, you need to understand who we're dealing with here. Mikey McCoy is Charlie Kirk's chief of staff at Turning Point USA. He was 23 years old when Charlie got shot. And get this, he was standing right beside Charlie when everything happened. Now, I'm not going to explain what happened to Charlie since most people already know the situation, but what most people don't know is the intricate web of connections, the suspicious behavior patterns, and the timeline inconsistencies that paint a completely different picture than what we've been told. So let's jump into Mikey's reaction.
Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear and he begins a conversation. So we're going to watch that clip in its entirety. Mark is going to bring it in. That it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial, okay? You can't dial and put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds. Yeah, when the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a file, a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it, and he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one, I don't know.
There's clips that blew up showing what Mikey did the exact moment Charlie got shot, and I'm telling you straight up, it's not what anyone would expect. Instead of rushing to help his friend, instead of hitting the ground like everyone else, Mikey casually strolled away with his phone pressed to his ear. This isn't some grainy footage where it's hard to tell what's happening. This is crystal clear video that shows exactly what went down. Look at that footage. Everyone surrounding him is losing it. People are screaming, people are bolting, security is scrambling. And Mikey, he just pivots and walks away slowly, like he knew precisely what was about to go down. The body language experts who analyzed this footage pointed out something crucial. There's no startle reflex, no panic response, No fight-or-flight reaction that you'd naturally expect from someone who just witnessed their close friend get shot right next to them. Now, I'm not claiming he did know what was coming, but that's exactly how it appears, and that's why people started investigating. When normal people witness violence, especially suspected violence against someone they care about, their bodies respond automatically. Adrenaline kicks in, pupils dilate, movements become jerky and frantic. But Mikey's movements? They were smooth, calculated, almost rehearsed. That's not speculation. That's observable behavior that contradicts everything we know about human psychology in crisis situations. And here's something else that grabbed people's attention. After the shooting, everyone at Turning Point USA began calling Mikey a hero, not just occasionally. Now, literally every single time they mentioned his name, there was an adjective stuck to it. The amazing Mikey McCoy, the brilliant Mikey McCoy, the heroic Mikey McCoy. This wasn't organic praise that happens naturally when people respect someone. This felt coordinated, like talking points had been distributed. Even Candace Owens highlighted this. She dropped a simple question: why does only Mikey require an adjective before his name? Nobody else at TPUSA gets this treatment. Charlie Kirk doesn't get called the amazing Charlie Kirk every single time. Other staff members don't get these constant modifiers attached to their names. It's only Mikey, and the consistency of it across different speakers, different platforms, different contexts. That's what makes it suspicious. Think about how strange that would play out in real life.
Is that Mikey McCoy, the chief of staff of Turning Point USA, Mikey McCoy, for whatever reason, he always requires an adjective. Whenever they discuss Mikey McCoy, there's an adjective before they say his name. A bunch of people in the Turning Point USA orbit described Mikey McCoy in this very unique manner. I want you to take a listen to that.
Let me tell you who the heroes were in this whole thing. We're going to start with 23-year-old Mikey McCoy. And that's when the great Mikey McCoy showed up.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
My friend Mikey McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day.
I used to be known as Charlie Kirk's pastor. Now I'm known as Mikey McCoy's dad.
He clicked into gear eventually.
He did.
It was amazing.
Mikey was a hero.
Imagine if every time someone brought up a friend, they said, the spectacular John, or the breathtaking Sarah. Something would feel off, right? You'd start wondering if they were overcompensating, if they were trying too hard to convince you of something. So why is everyone doing this for Mikey? What are they trying to convince the public of? And more importantly, what are they trying to distract from? Here's where things get seriously interesting, because Erika Kirk herself may have accidentally exposed a lie during her interview with Jesse Waters on Fox News. This is the kind of slip-up that seems small on the surface, but unravels the entire narrative when you pull on the thread. Erika was asked how she discovered Charlie had been shot, and here's what she dropped. She was at her mom's doctor's appointment. Her phone was on silent. She put it down, and when she grabbed it back up, Mikey McCoy was calling her. She said he called her within seconds of the shooting. Within seconds. Let that sink in for a moment. The shooting happens, and within literal seconds, Mikey is already on the phone calling Erika. Not calling 911, not calling security, not trying to help Charlie, but calling Erika. Now that matches up perfectly with the viral clips we just discussed. The footage showing Mikey grabbing his phone right after the shot. The footage showing him walking away while talking to someone. So Erika's story backs it up, right? Mikey was on the phone immediately after Charlie got shot. The timeline she provided creates a direct connection between what we see in the video and what she claims happened. But hold up, because Turning Point USA stated something completely opposite. This is where the cover-up starts to fall apart, because now we have two contradictory official stories coming from the same organization. Andrew Colvin, the executive producer of The Charlie Kirk Show, created a video attempting to clear Mikey's name. And in that video, he claimed Mikey was not on the phone. He stated Mikey just threw his hands up to his ears because the gunshot was extremely loud. He said Mikey was shell-shocked, and he said the phone was just in his hand, but he wasn't using it. So, according to Andrew, Mikey was just holding the phone, overwhelmed by the noise and trauma, not actually making a call. So now we've got a serious problem, a massive one. Either Erika is speaking the truth, and Mikey really did call her within seconds.
I don't want you to feel hurt by all these horrible things. We know that you have a responsibility. You're a young man. And I just want you to take a deep breath, like I said, and you know what? Let them spin their conspiracy theories. You're a good kid. You had instructions to call Erika. Charlie had a team that jumped right in there. I know that team. And we just got to move on. We got to push them moving on, and let's get to these midterms.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Bernadette. It's crazy. It's just, I remember taking the last picture I took of Charlie was at 12:23 I did, in fact, call Erika momentarily afterwards. But thank you, Bernadette. That's very encouraging to hear from you.
You be
You've always been
encouraged
such a
and you
good friend.
keep going, because we need you. And we need that team to take a deep breath and get your pants on.
Which means the footage is exactly what it appears to be. Or Turning Point USA is speaking the truth, and Mikey wasn't on a call at all. Which means Erika lied on national television. One of them is lying, and here's what everyone knows. People who drop small lies tend to drop bigger lies eventually. This isn't a minor inconsistency about what someone was wearing or the exact time something happened. This is a fundamental contradiction about what Mikey was doing at the most critical moment. Here's the thing. There's a super simple way to resolve all this. Mikey could just drop his call logs. That's it. Show the timestamps, show who got called and when. It would take 5 minutes and it would prove everything one direction or the other. Phone records don't lie. They can't be manipulated without leaving traces. And they would definitively answer the question of whether Mikey called Erika within seconds of the shooting or whether he was just standing there in shock. But has he done that? Nope. Complete radio silence. And that silence? It's communicating something loud and clear. When innocent people are accused of being involved in something as serious as this, they don't stay quiet. They provide evidence, they clear their names, they do whatever it takes to prove the accusations wrong, but instead, we get nothing. The fact that such a simple piece of evidence that would instantly vindicate Mikey remains hidden speaks volumes about what that evidence probably shows.
Example number 1, Charlie's very last overseas trip to Korea. This was 4 days before he died. For whatever reason, Mikey McCoy felt suddenly inspired to try his luck, miking up Charlie and capturing him on the road. And he says this is the first time he ever did it. Take a listen to Mikey McCoy explain that.
Now, this next part is what really made me lean in and pay serious attention. Candace Owens revealed something major in one of her videos. She pointed out that just weeks before Charlie passed, something interesting happened. The McCoys, that's Mikey and his wife Eliza, took their very first family vacation with Charlie and Erika Kirk, their first ever. Why is this significant? Because the timing raises questions that nobody seems willing to address. This is according to Eliza McCoy's own Instagram post. She wrote that they spent a few weeks together that summer, their first family trip together, getting real close. The language she used, the emphasis on it being their first trip, the way she documented it so thoroughly, it all feels deliberate in retrospect. And while they were on this vacation, something else went down. The McCoys started filming the Kirk family. Not just random photos, they captured these intimate behind-the-scenes moments. Someone probably knows the footage I'm referencing. It exploded after Charlie passed. It shows Charlie walking with his kids. Erika grabs his hand, a really tender moment that got a lot of people emotional. These weren't casual vacation snapshots. These were professionally composed shots that captured the Kirk family in their most vulnerable, most human moments. Well, guess who filmed that? The McCoys. Now, Candace asked the question that I can't shake. What moved them to do that? Think about it. When someone goes on a family vacation, who's usually behind the camera? One of the family members, right? So in family photos, someone's always missing. That's just how it works. The person taking the photo doesn't appear in it. That's basic photography logic. But on this vacation, the McCoys were filming the entire Kirk family together from behind the scenes, like they understood they needed to capture these moments. Is that just coincidence? Are the McCoys just really considerate friends who wanted to make sure the Kirk family had complete family photos? Or was something else happening? Were they creating a documentary record for a reason? Were these clips meant to be used later for something specific? And here's another thing that's bizarre. Just 4 days before Charlie passed, Mikey felt the urge to film Charlie during their trip to Korea. It was the last time Charlie was ever captured on camera. 4 days, and Mikey just happened to film him. I don't know about anyone else, but that timing feels seriously off. Why would Mikey suddenly decide to film Charlie on this particular trip? Was it intuition?
And this is actually, to your point, you saw Mikey do heroic things that day. I saw Mikey do heroic things. I was not on site, but I immediately flew to Utah. We got a plane. I mean, it's not something that I'm used to, but it was like my wife went with me. We went straight over. I knew I needed to be with Erika and the team immediately just because, you know, I just knew. But that moment when I got the news, I was so shell-shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight. All I knew is that, like, what's happening? My wife came in. She, like, hugged me. We started crying together.
Was it planning? Was it documentation for something he knew was coming? The more pieces of this puzzle you put together, the clearer the picture becomes. We have a first-ever family vacation weeks before the tragedy, extensive filming of intimate family moments, and then final footage captured just 4 days before everything went down. Each of these events could be explained away individually as coincidence, but when you line them all up together, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Now we need to discuss the leaks themselves, because this is where the story really detonates. Late one night, an account that people later connected to Mikey McCoy's wife dropped something online. Screenshots, audio clips, private conversations. No caption, no explanation. Just 3 chilling words. They all knew. Those 3 words carried more weight than a 1,000-page document because they cut straight to the heart of what everyone was thinking but nobody was saying. Within minutes, those screenshots spread like absolute wildfire, and what people discovered inside sent chills racing down their spines. The leaked material wasn't ambiguous. It wasn't open to interpretation. It was direct, explicit, and damning. The screenshots supposedly showed a private group chat. The people in it? Mikey McCoy, a few Turning Point USA staffers, and someone labeled EK. Most people believe that's Erika Kirk. The messages weren't lengthy, but they didn't need to be. Here's what they supposedly said. Everything is set. Keep calm if it happens. We've rehearsed this. Make sure cameras stay rolling. Read those lines again slowly. Everything is set implies preparation. If it happens, suggests premeditation. We've rehearsed this means they practiced. Make sure cameras stay rolling indicates they wanted documentation. These aren't the messages of people reacting to an unexpected tragedy. These are the messages of people executing a plan. And then this line, the one that became the internet's obsession. Erika already knows. 4 words, but they changed everything. Because if those messages are legitimate, if Erika really knew something before it happened, then what everyone witnessed that day wasn't chaos. It was orchestrated. It was theater. It was a performance where everyone knew their roles except the audience. And there's more. A voice memo also surfaced. A woman's voice shaking, saying, "I can't stay quiet anymore. This wasn't an accident." The emotion in that voice, the fear, the guilt, the desperation, it was palpable. Many people believe that was Mikey's wife. Others think it was a friend trying to protect her. But whoever it was, the tone was crystal clear. Fear mixed with guilt. This was someone who knew they were taking a massive risk by coming forward. Someone who understood the consequences of breaking the silence. And here's the wildest part. The timestamps on those leaked messages lined up almost perfectly with the viral footage of Mikey picking up his phone right before the shooting. We're not talking about vague timing. We're talking about minute-by-minute, second-by-second alignment between the digital evidence and the visual evidence. What had once been dismissed as a coincidence suddenly looked very different. It looked deliberate, it looked coordinated, it looked like proof. Reddit threads, TikTok videos, Twitter spaces, everyone was asking the same question. What did Erika Kirk and the TPUSA team really know before the shooting? The conversation exploded across every platform. People started creating timelines, mapping connections, analyzing body language, comparing statements. Digital investigators were doing the work that traditional media refused to do. So, what happened after those leaks surfaced? This is where things get dark. Mikey's wife's social media? Gone. Deleted. Not just deactivated, completely scrubbed. Her friends' accounts? Locked down. The digital trail was being erased in real time. People who claim to know her say she was advised not to speak. Others say she's terrified. And then, silence. The woman who potentially held the key to understanding what really happened suddenly vanished from public view. But here's what's interesting. While the wife went quiet, Turning Point USA did the complete opposite. They flooded the internet with content about Mikey. Podcasts, speeches, press releases, all of them praising the amazing Mikey McCoy. It appeared less like mourning and more like damage control, like the only way to neutralize a scandal was to drown it in PR. The contrast was striking, one side going completely dark while the other side amplifying their message to maximum volume. In one clip, someone can be seen telling Mikey not to stress about the conspiracy theories. They tell him to take a deep breath. They call him a good kid. They say, Charlie had a team that jumped right in. The language they use is protective, parental, reassuring. It's the kind of language you use with someone who's been through trauma or someone who's nervous about being caught. But here's the thing about silence. When innocent people get accused of something, they usually fight back hard. They post proof. They file lawsuits. They demand retractions. They don't hide. They don't go quiet. They defend themselves aggressively. What has TPUSA done? Nothing. No lawsuit against the false rumors, no cease and desist, just carefully choreographed silence. And that pattern, deny, distract, disappear. It's exactly what someone would expect from a cover-up. I'm not claiming that's what this is, but I am stating it doesn't look good. The optics are terrible. And Erika? Based on what's circulating online, she's supposedly doing everything in her power to stop Mikey's wife from talking further. The woman who broke the script, they want her silent. There are reports of legal threats, financial pressure, social isolation. The full court press to keep this story buried is being applied. Let's circle back to something Candace Owens noticed, because the more I think about it, the stranger it gets. Every single time someone at Turning Point USA mentions Mikey McCoy, they use an adjective. Every single time. The amazing Mikey McCoy. The brilliant Mikey McCoy. The heroic Mikey McCoy. This isn't natural speech. When people genuinely respect someone, the praise comes organically. It varies. It's spontaneous. This is scripted, mechanical, repetitive. And there's this clip where someone says, "She hugged me," then pauses for a split second and then says, "We started crying." That pause? It felt rehearsed, like he was thinking about what to say next. When people recall genuine traumatic memories, they don't pause to construct their sentences. The emotions flow naturally. But when people are reciting practiced stories, you see these little hesitations, these micro pauses where they're accessing the script instead of the memory. Candace put it perfectly. She said she would never call someone heroic for walking away from their friend after he got shot. That's not what heroes do. Heroes run toward danger, they try to help, they put themselves at risk. Walking away calmly while on the phone? That's not heroism. That's something else entirely. But by constantly repeating the word heroic in connection with Mikey's name, they're trying to reframe the narrative, to make people associate him with positive qualities instead of questioning his suspicious behavior. And think about how strange it would be if every time someone mentioned Tucker Carlson, they called him the spectacular Tucker Carlson. Something would feel off, right? You'd immediately recognize it as propaganda, as manufactured consent, as an attempt to control perception. So why does only Mikey get this treatment? Why is everyone so determined to make him appear like a hero? Unless they're trying to get ahead of something, unless they know the truth looks bad and they need to preemptively shape public opinion. Let's zoom out for a second, because there are some things Erika said in her Fox News interview that people haven't discussed enough. These weren't just throwaway comments. These were carefully chosen words that revealed more than she probably intended. When Jesse Watters asked her if they caught Charlie's killer, she didn't say yes. She didn't give a straightforward answer. She said, "I trust our team." That's deflection. That's political speak. That's what people say when they can't or won't tell the truth. She mentioned that she's seen the autopsy report. She talked about different evidence portions that have been collected. And she said something that stuck with me. "I want to see what they did to my husband." They, not him. They. Who is they? That's a question, and it's a question she hasn't answered. The use of the plural suggests she believes multiple people were involved. Is she talking about a conspiracy? Is she talking about people she knows? The pronoun choice is significant. When Jesse asked if Charlie being shot while answering a question about certain violence was a coincidence, Erika said something simple. "I don't believe in coincidences, neither do I." And when someone with inside knowledge says they don't believe in coincidences, they're telling you to look deeper, to connect the dots, to see the patterns. Candace Owens has been covering this story extensively, and she's come right out and labeled it an inside job. She's pointed to the inconsistencies, the lies, the strange behavior, and she's saying what a lot of people are thinking. This feels bigger than just one shooter. This feels coordinated. This feels like something that involves multiple people, careful planning, and institutional protection. We know Charlie was shot while on stage. We know Mikey's reaction was strange. We know the timelines don't match up. We know his wife supposedly leaked messages suggesting people knew in advance. And we know the people involved have gone silent. That's a lot of coincidences for someone who doesn't believe in them. Each individual piece might not prove anything on its own, but when you stack them all together, when you see the pattern emerge, the conclusion becomes inescapable. So here's where we are. Mikey McCoy walked away calmly after his friend got shot. He won't release his call logs that would immediately clear his name. Everyone at TP USA keeps calling him a hero for walking away. Erika is supposedly trying to silence the one person who might know the truth. And the woman who leaked those messages, she's gone quiet. The evidence keeps mounting, the questions keep multiplying, and the silence keeps getting louder. What's really happening here? I don't have all the answers, but I do know that someone knows exactly what went down that day. And the silence, the forced smiles, the scripted praise, it all feels like a cover-up. The pieces are all there, scattered across social media, buried in deleted posts, hidden in contradictory statements. Maybe one day, when the silence becomes too heavy to carry, we'll finally hear the truth. Not from speeches, not from PR campaigns, but from someone who was there, someone who saw everything. And until then, we keep asking questions. We keep investigating. We keep keep refusing to accept the official story that doesn't add up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what everyone thinks is really going down. Do people believe the official story, or do people think there's something bigger happening behind the scenes? See you next time.